Hi everyone, today we're taking a look at troubleshooting our flashlights. This is kind of a general overview. It's going to be pretty consistent from flashlight model to model and make to make from the brands that we sell. But first, in my hand is a Fenix PD32 Ultimate Edition. The number one problem that we see, oddly enough, for flashlight troubleshooting is batteries. Simply just try a different set of batteries. Maybe you got a bad set of batteries when you bought them. Maybe you've used them more than what you thought, etc. But try a fresh set of batteries is the number one thing to try first. Put a fresh set in, turn the light on, and see if that fixes your problem. The second thing that we see, that's the most common issue, set this over here, is if you take a look at the tail cap, and on the inside of the tail cap you see these two little dimples right here and right here. And what that is the tail cap assembly just screws in there. And what can happen over time, and sometimes even out of the factory, is they don't screw them in completely tight when the light's new, or they work themselves out after being used. So simply just take a little set of needle nose pliers. You can stick it down in here, catch the dimples, tighten this up, make sure it's a nice snug and screwed all the way in. Put it all back together, and a lot of the times that'll help your problem. Another thing to look at is battery contacts. In this particular model, there's a spring on the back. Most flashlights are going to have a spring on the back. Sometimes the spring can get bent over. Sometimes it can get some buildup on it over time. Take a towel, take some rubbing alcohol or a pencil eraser or something like that. Scrub that spring up, make sure it looks good. Take the batteries out of this one. And on the front side of this light, you can see in this particular case it has a spring on the front of the light as well. Same thing, take some rubbing alcohol or pencil eraser, make sure the spring's not bent up, make sure it's all cleaned off and you have excellent contact. And I'll show you a Foursevens light that's a little different here. If you look on this, on the front side, this is the head side. This doesn't have a spring, but same idea. You can take a little pencil eraser, a little towel, maybe a little alcohol if you need to. Scrub this contact point up. Sometimes over time they just get a little fuzzy. They get a little corrosion on them and build up. Clean that up. Make sure you've got excellent contact on your batteries. That's the two different types of heads pretty much across Fenix, Foursevens, Jet Beam. A lot of the companies are all going to be similar like that. So back to our Fenix that we have all tore down, is if you look here, the threads, see if we can get a good shot. Sometimes you get a little buildup on your threads. You see this a lot on the older lights that are pocket carried a lot. You get a little fuzz in here. This one's almost a new light, so there's no buildup on the tube or anything like that. Take a nice towel, little alcohol, sometimes just a clean towel. You know, I'll grab one here to show you, and just take it, scrub it up a little bit, get all the fuzz, all the gunk, maybe the old oil from your O-rings on it. Get that scrubbed off. Same thing on the inside. You've got threads on the inside here. Get the towel in there, clean that all up, as well on the tail cap. Make sure all these threads are nice and cleaned up. And when you do that, if you've wiped all the oil off your O-rings, make sure you re-lube your O-rings so you don't have them degrade and lose your water-resistant part of your light. So once that's done, we can put it all back together. We've got brand new batteries, so we know it works. And then one last thing, if this isn't working, you can take a key and you can press the key on the back of your battery and make a connection with the side of the light. This one's a little more challenging because there's a spring on the front. But I'm touching the back of the battery to the side of the light, you see the light turns on. So what that tells me is that my circuit works. So if you've done all these troubleshooting things and you've tightened up your switch, you made sure all your contacts are cleaned, you put a key on it and the light works, but when you put your switch back on, it doesn't work, that means you have a bad switch somewhere. all put back together. We all work. This one, of course, is a newer light, so it works good. And again, the Fenix lights are all, it doesn't matter if it's a PD32, an LD22, LD12, the Foursevens lights, any of the Quark lights are all going to be really, really similar and all going to share the same troubleshooting ideas as far as the problems. But again, if you guys have any questions, give us a call, send us an email, and we'll be glad to help you out.